Okay, I'd like to talk today about dealing with a document that is not part of the buyer or listing template. This is certainly going to happen. Somebody's going to email you something. Hey, can you get your client to sign this real quick? Absolutely, you can do it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But first, I'd like to just address a couple of things that still seem to be popping up. And so I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page here. Many of you may have seen dotloop in the past in one capacity or another. Either used it at another company or you received things to sign, therefore you are part of a loop in a transaction somewhere. Okay, I want to make sure that you are on the united page, basically seeing everything that we have a ability to see. We have the dotloop premium account. If you don't see premium at the top, if instead you see you have 6 loops left, you are not in the right profile. Meaning, look over here, top right, where your initials are. Maybe it's your picture. So click on that and notice that you will have potentially more than one name here. Okay, that means you likely have more than one profile. You're going to need to play with that, figure out which profile is the one that you need to be using for our work here at United. Okay, so when you click on each profile, go to the templates tab right here next to your initials, and under documents you should be able to see United Real Estate Colombian Master Documents. If you cannot see that, you are not in the right profile. So play with that. If you still have issues, definitely give me a call. Okay, either that or you might need to talk directly to dotloop, but I'm wondering if we can't figure this out. Okay, so that's one of the questions. Now let's go back to loops for a second. And again, anyone who has had contact with dotloop before will be a part of a loop in some capacity, some transaction somewhere. So you're probably going to be seeing things that are really old. You don't want to be seeing those right now. You want to focus on the current stuff. So what do? Well, nothing in dotloop is deleted really. It is archived. That's the terminology we use, and that's what you're going to want to do. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that your filters are set. Filters is right here in the middle. Set to hide the archived. Meaning it's never going away. You can always get back to it. You just don't want to look at it every day. Okay, so really this is the one that you want to have as your default. There's no real need to deal with any of these other boxes that could be checked because they deal more on the transaction management side of things, and we just don't use dotloop for those purposes. So once you have hide archived as your filter, now you can deal with the ones you don't want to see. W9, for instance, is a document I played with yesterday, and so I don't need that, so I'm going to go to the bottom of the box and I'm going to archive it. Well, it's archived. You can see it says it's archived, but I'm still looking at it. What do? The quickest way that I found to do this is go to any other tab and then come back. And now it's gone. Okay? So those are a couple of quick tricks for you to hopefully solve a couple of your minor little irritations. Okay, so let's move on to that document that maybe you need to sign. So somebody's emailed you something, you said, okay, so I've saved it to my computer, I need to get it into dotloop for a quick signature. How do I do that? Let's look at it this way. First of all, a loop. Okay, again, dotloop is very much a transaction management platform for a lot of people. So this terminology is all related in some way, I think, to that mindset. Just understand a loop is a folder. Okay, this is a folder you're going to be storing documents for any given activity you're doing. Is it a transaction? Is it a quick signature for something unrelated to even a transaction? Maybe it's something else for permission to be getting some listings here and there. There are other different types of things that you need to get signatures for sometimes. Just look at it as a folder, okay? And know that you need to have a folder for everything you do, and that's just a way that you can keep yourself organized. Okay, so name these folders, these loops, anything you want. It doesn't have to be the street address. It's helpful if it's the street address for you, I'm sure. But if you have a buyer, you may not have a street address yet. Name it his name. If it's something else that's unrelated, name it whatever the project is, just it's a folder, okay? So that's what every loop is. Don't get too hung up on the idea that it has to be attached to a transaction. That's what paperless pipeline is for. This is signature, so just kind of look at it that way. So let's approach it this way for the first time. We're going to add a loop. Okay, so we're going to call this, I think the document I'm going to look at is 1. Okay, so I'm going to continue. I've named it something. And now we're at the selection of a template if you need one. Okay, if you do not need buyer agency or listing agency documents, move right through this screen. Do not choose a template. Okay, no picture needed. And now we're creating a loop. I mean, it's simply a folder that we are now gonna go ahead and add things to. So let's view that loop. Okay, no documents. What you see instead is the ability to add documents to it. And you always have this ability. But in this case, there isn't anything initially, so let's add something. Well, templates is not my favorite word for the tab. Templates to us really indicate something that is a very specific use. It's been set up for a particular use. In .loop terms, it's basically where all of our pre-established documents are located. Okay, so if you need one of the documents, if you need a quick general addendum that you want to send out to somebody in a transaction that's already been occurring, whatever, I mean, you can get it from here, from the templates. You click on that and you go to the United Real Estate master folder thing, and now you are scrolling through the documents that we have. These documents that are in here are all fillable. They will have the signatures or initials somehow populated in them. So feel free to use those and work with those, and that should make your life easy. If, however, you have another document that is strictly a PDF that you need to upload and get a quick signature on, then you browse and you take it from your own documents. Okay, so we'll do this. I'm gonna go get the one that I was thinking about. Okay, it's here, and no, it's not. Where do I see that? Is it here? No. We'll do that. Okay. So now I'm going to click on that and I'm going to open it. Okay, notice it didn't even ask me for any autofill information or anything. I can simply add a signature, let's say. And when you click to add a signature, you just drag it wherever you want it. Okay, so sign here, right? You have to assign the field. Just as you do in your other signatures, you need to assign it to a buyer, a seller, your broker, somebody else, right? So you want to assign the field. Okay, so we're going to assign the field. I don't need to sign it. If I needed my broker in charge to sign it, I would assign it to the admin for United Real Estate. And this is my office, okay, the Lexington office. Northeast agents will see Northeast, Florence agents will see Florence, but the admin for that particular office is your broker in charge. So you can assign that to the broker in charge. Or if you want to add somebody else, you need to add a person. So I'm going to add John here, and his email, make mine. I've already added him. So his role, we'll call him a buyer. Okay, so once again, know that when you do that, for some reason, you cannot use the outer loop, and there's no scrolling down this box, and I don't know why, so I have to tab through it, and now I can add a person. Okay, so That's all I have to do to get John to sign it. Okay. So now I'm going to save and share, and that's all I will do to get that signed. See, you say save and share. When you do that, it's literally going to get sent to the buyer, and that's it. Boom. Okay, just like anything else, you have added the signature. Now, if you want to add something else, if you want to add text, there's a text box, right, that you can place. You size it, and you type. Okay. If you needed to add a signature for your broker as well. Okay. Let's assign the field, and it's the admin. Okay. So you see how United, when it says that, the admin for your office, that's the broker in charge. Okay. So let's save this for a second. We're going to save it, and we're going to go back. And I'm not going to share it just yet. I just want to show you that if you do need to have your broker sign it for some reason, then you click on this and you submit it for review up at the top under your initials. Okay. Notice that anything that you submit for review is literally sent to your broker for signature. Okay. And that's all that means. If you do not need the broker to sign something, then you do not need to submit it for review. You simply share it to whomever you want to email it to for signature. That's the difference. Sharing will email it to somebody, like your client, another agent, whatever you want to do. Submitting it for review sends it directly via email, but it sends it directly to your broker in charge. That's the difference, okay? So notice you never added your broker in charge to this loop. You don't have to add. The broker is already here. The admin for the Lexington office is Joe. The admin for the Northeast office is Preston. The admin for Florence is Ann. So they are already in this loop, and when you share it, when you submit it for review, that's going directly to the broker. So that's how you do it, okay? The other thing that you can do, now I'm going to get out of this loop for a second. I just want to show you in general, if you want to add documents in general to your template tab, okay, again, templates meaning documents, then you have a personal folder here, right here. So you can go ahead and add a document, and once again, you can browse and you can put anything on here. So if there's something that you like to use a lot that is not in the United Real Estate documents, but there's something that you send out a lot of, then put it in here, and that way you always have access to it. Whenever you need to add it to a loop, you would just go to your templates, you would go to your personal folder, and there it is in there. See, I've got a couple of forms in here that I've added just to play with. So that's how you do it. Hopefully this will help you with basic signatures, as opposed to using the templates that we have created. Thanks.